not sure what this word is again, but it says, is it okay for Seventh-day Adventists to do
Funeral.
funerals,
Okay.
funeral services on the Sabbath? So that's a good question. Thank you.
A funeral is a sacred event. We're laying our loved ones to rest, and we're praying that we will be faithful like they were, and we're placing them in God's hands. Now, the events associated with the funeral could be kind of complicated and involve a lot of other things, and maybe that's more the problem. The funeral itself of laying a loved one to rest is not a secular event. It's a sacred event. Precious to the Lord is the death of his saints. And if anything is precious to the Lord, it's perfectly well to do on Sabbath. So if you're a nurse or a doctor and you have to take care of a patient and he dies on Sabbath, you gotta do what has to be done. If they're sick on Sabbath, precious to the Lord is the healing of people. So you heal on Sabbath. Jesus healed on Sabbath. And if we have to bury somebody on Sabbath, but sometimes the events tied to, with my mother and father, it was very simple. In Bolivia, we just put them in the ambulance, and nobody stops an ambulance. You have to get permission to transport bodies and all of that. We got their death certificate. We put them in the ambulance, turned on the light, straight up to the mountain. The police, we went through police checkpoints, and we went to the top, and we had a lovely service, very sacred, and we buried them. It didn't happen to be on Sabbath, but we didn't have a morgue or anything, so we had to do it right away. But it wasn't on Sabbath. But if it would have been on Sabbath, no problem. It was very simple service with no complications. But here in the States, things can be a little more complicated. So if it can be simple, I don't see any problem with the funeral. If it's too complicated, maybe with
I just want to add that Sister White, one of her funeral services was on Sabbath. She had several different ones, I think 3 or something.
Some of her children and her husband.
Actually, at the Dime Tabernacle was on Sabbath.
So I believe that's an example that we can say it's okay.
There's nothing theoretical. It's like traveling on Sabbath. We all travel to come here, right? We have to get in a car and go. It's very simple. But if you have to go to the airline and buy a ticket and travel and all, so the environment becomes a little not Sabbathy. So we avoid it. We avoid airline travel on Sabbath. But there's nothing wrong. I used to fly in the airplane all the time on Sabbath to pick up a patient. Sometimes I'd be preaching and they'd say a tree fell on somebody. They need you right away to pick them up. I'd drop everything, leave the sermon with the first elder. I'd jump in the airplane and go pick them up. Or I would preach in this church in the morning and I'd fly to another church and preach in the afternoon. But it was not just like flying in airplanes, like driving a car. But not in the airline. The airline's a different environment. So that's why it depends on what surrounds that event.